Welcome to Radiant Mom Rising. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, and in each episode, we dive into amazing stories, insights, and conversations that help moms like you chase your dreams and embrace your worth. Let's rise and shine together.
I went through my healing journey. And it just says a lot about we have to go through struggles. When the butterfly comes out of the chrysalis, they have to do it on their own. And they have to go through that struggle or their wings won't be strong enough to fly. And it just resonated with me at the time because I had been through a lot of things and it felt like all my dreams, everything had melted away and then I was being reborn. And I wanted to be able to do that for other businesses, other people that are, starting businesses and they have these ideas and they just need somebody to walk alongside them and support them.
Welcome back to the show. Today I have a special guest, Miss Tammy Schaefer, and she is a seasoned entrepreneur and virtual assistant at Blue Butterfly Solutions. With over 25 years of experience blending entrepreneurship with a background as a trained legal secretary and various administrative roles, she offers valuable support to fellow small business owners and entrepreneurs. Tammy's passion lies in walking alongside business owners, alleviating the day-to-day operational burdens and helping them thrive in their ventures. Her unique journey includes overcoming adversity, finding healing, and experience restoration through her relationship with God. Tammy enjoys sharing her story to give others hope when they face seasons of adversity. She aspires to inspire young mothers, demonstrating the importance of leading by example, living with purpose, and imparting hope to the next generation through shared experiences and mutual learning. She truly is a beautiful soul, and I'm so blessed that we crossed paths and that she was able to come on the show and share her story and bring the inspiration that she does. So without any further ado, Miss Tammy Schaefer. Hey, I am here with Miss Tammy Schaefer. Tammy, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you here. So why don't you give us a little background? Tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your journey that you've been through. I know you do virtual assistant right now, assisting in your own business. So I can't wait to lead up to that and let the listeners know how that came to be. And yeah, take it away.
So I came out of abusive situation, as many of us have, but I had two entrepreneurs for parents. So I learned very early. I just had that leaning. I went out into the administrative world and quickly learned that I was not a 9 to 5 girl. And then when my daughter was born, it really became clear that I wanted to be able to spend more time with her. I wanted to be able to pick her up from school. And that was when I started my first official business, which was a cleaning business. And I learned to do all the books and all the stuff I needed for that. And I already had that strong administrative background. I had gone to school to be a legal secretary. So I had all that training behind me. And then in 2009, my husband and I decided I had always wanted to live in Florida. I'm a warm weather girl.
Me too.
And we were going through some challenges, and my daughter was getting ready to graduate. Her father and I had split custody, and so she had gone back and forth between our homes, and she was getting ready to graduate, and it was hard to leave, but I thought I need to move, and we need to make a fresh start. So we moved down to Stuart, Florida area, and my daughter was going to go into the Navy. She was qualified for the nuclear program, so I was very excited for her. Little did I know that she had kind of planned to kind of go off and leave the family. And so we had always been very close, but I didn't really pick up on that. I think she was just really struggling at that time. And so my husband and I moved him to Florida. We got a place. He got a job right away. And she came down for a visit. And at that time, she had dislocated her knee. And she was actually disqualified from going into the Navy because she had been in the delayed entry program. And so that was her whole dream. So she went back home up to Pennsylvania. That's where we were from, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And she was trying to go chiropractic route with her dad, but her dad was not very supportive of that. And so she called me one day and said, "Hey, could I come and live with you?" And I thought, wow, she's going to move to Florida. She is a cold weather person, and I was always a warm weather person. And I thought, well, this is it. But no, she moved down. And so we lived together for quite a while. She lived with us here. And during that time, we started a pet sitting business together. We went through a lot of mother daughter stuff, and we did a lot of healing during those years. And we were just very close. And so we started this business, which was amazing. It was a pet sitting business. And we went and stayed in people's homes. And down here in Florida, there was a lot of disposable income. So there was a lot of very wealthy people that would pay us to come and live in their homes, take care of their homes, and pamper their pets.
Yeah.
So we did that together for about 6 years. And at that time, my husband had lost his job, and he was given the opportunity to go on the road doing hotel reconstruction. So for the first year, I wasn't allowed to go with him. So I was home some, and my daughter and I very much bonded even more. We were very close, and it was wonderful. But I realize now that I definitely held on very tightly. And so I had gotten the opportunity to go to Texas. I was doing a international missionary organization called YWAM. It was a school, and I went there and did one school and went to a mission in Alaska
Oh.
and Chicago. So that was kind of exciting.
Yeah.
It was cold. I'm
Yeah.
not a real fan of the cold.
Yeah, I would do you do that?
But Alaska, it was in April, and it was light till about 11 at night. So I loved that part of it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Anyway, I came back, and we had a tragedy in our family. My brother, I had been, I'm backtracking a little bit, but I had been in a foster home at the age of 15 due to some of the abuse I had been involved with. And I was very close with my foster family at the time, and my brother committed suicide.
Oh.
So I left. I was in Texas, and I left to go home to Pennsylvania. And after that, an opportunity opened up where I could be with my husband on the road. So he was in North Carolina, so I went, and his boss was very gracious and allowed me to work on the floor. I just did some of the cleaning. We did like total revamp of the hotels. We would take, they would repaint the walls, rip out the carpet, new furniture, everything. So as I was working on the floor, I saw his boss really struggling. And I said to him one day, you need an assistant. And he said to me, oh, he said, well, I was going to have my girlfriend help me. And, but we're having a little trouble getting started. And I said, well, if you want me to, I can help her because I was trained as a legal secretary. Well, when he heard that, he decided he wanted to hire me. So I worked with him for about 3 years. And during all this time, it was hard to be away from my daughter, but it was really good for both of us because my husband and I got even closer. I think for a period of time, it was kind of unhealthy because I felt like I was closer with my daughter than my husband. Like my daughter came first. It was kind of out of order.
Yeah.
So being on the road with my husband was really a wonderful thing. And we did that for a total of about 5 years. And our boss just had kind of a mental breakdown and left the company.
Oh.
And so we both lost our job in the same day.
Oh, goodness.
And so at that point, my daughter was living in North Carolina outside of Raleigh. And I just felt like very strongly that I needed to go to Stewart. So we came back to Stewart and very quickly connected with the church. I had struggled a lot with church being where I came from, and my family was very strong in church, but there was a lot of abuse going on in the home.
Mm.
So I found a really amazing church family, and one of the members actually had a really big house, and he and a friend of mine were getting married, and her mother had dementia and Alzheimer's. So I helped to take care of her. And in exchange, he had this big house that was pretty much empty except for his son that lived there. And so he left us live there while we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. So during this time, my daughter and her boyfriend, she met a young man up in North Carolina, and they were just thinking about moving somewhere. And they came down for a visit, and they both decided to come back to Florida, which I thought was so crazy. And they got engaged at the same time. So they came down, they got engaged, and I was so excited because she had been talking about this young man, and I just thought, oh, this is amazing. He's an amazing young man. I'm so excited. But I realized very quickly that my daughter and I had this super close relationship, and we had gone through a lot of healing and done a lot of things. And him and his mom were in a different place. And so he had a little bit of trouble understanding why we were so close. So they got married this past March. I helped her. She allowed me to help with the wedding.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting, but it also there was a part of a grieving process there because I knew that things were going to change because before we would get together and it was all about her and me and we would just, we did these fun little things together
Yeah.
and that I knew that was going to change. I knew it had to change. It was healthy. So she got married and I had to learn, and I've been learning to step back and
Yeah.
be kind of that. I'll listen, but I'm very careful about what I say because, as you know, when you're getting
Mhm.
married in the beginning, especially the first year,
Yeah.
it's really hard to connect and connect your lives together. And you really have to become that one unit
Yeah.
um, without interference, even though people, have well meaning hearts
Oh, yeah.
and they want what's best for you. And one of the things I had to keep remembering is my heart broke for all those years. My daughter was by herself. And I wanted her to have that relationship like I had with my husband. Like when, we were on the road, it was so wonderful. We
Mhm.
became very strong partners. And I wanted that for her. And that meant that she had to change the way her other relationships were a little bit.
Yes. Oh,
So, and become, compromise. And
yeah.
so one thing that really helped me was the fact, and I want to encourage some of the younger mothers out there,
Yeah.
if you're thinking, and I've heard you talk on your podcast before about young mothers thinking now's not the time to start a business. I think now's the exact time to
Mhm.
start a business because as you get older, your children get older. You want to have that, if everything is all about your kids, you will go through a grieving process. I've talked to other mothers and they just go through this deep grief because they think, what do I do now? Like their identity is gone.
Yeah.
And another thing is our children are watching us. Like the one thing, I made a
Mhm.
lot of mistakes with my
Yeah.
daughter, as we do, but I am proud of the fact that she is a very strong woman and she was able to care for herself during the years before she got married, and she knows who she is going into this marriage, even though that some
Yeah.
of that will change,
Oh, yeah.
but she's very strong and solid, and she has a lot to give to the marriage because of that.
That's awesome.
um, so if you're thinking that maybe having a business is taking away from your children, I would say you have to find a balance.
Yeah.
But children should not feel like they're the all important and first in everything because that can develop into some enablement and thinking, oh, entitlement, right?
Entitlement. Yep. I see that a lot in today's generations because I think that it's like, I feel like so many people grew up, especially those who grew up poor or they struggled, they had this idea or belief that they take on that I'm never going to let my child suffer. I'm going to give them everything they want. And they don't realize that's actually damaging for children.
Right.
It really is. It gives them a sense of they don't want to take responsibility. They think everything should be handed to them. So when life really happens, And and so I'm definitely all about teaching them responsibility. Like you say, having the boundaries even with your own kids is important. I think that's awesome to meet other people who are on that same path.
I think it is difficult when, especially if you come from abuse, and who very few people have grown up without some sort of abuse in their background. And we do have this instinct as mothers to
Yeah.
take care.
Yeah.
But when we keep them from ever having anything, when I look back at my struggles, I see where I am today. And some of the strongest skills I have are because of some of the struggles I had to go through. So
Yeah.
I don't even regret the things. I wouldn't want things to deliberately happen to somebody,
Yeah.
but also there's a certain amount of struggle we need to go through so we can be the people we are meant to be, to live in our purpose.
Exactly. And it's beautiful to be able to look at life like that instead of the victim minded of why me? What did I do to deserve this? And it's easy to fall into that, especially when you're going through it. We've all been there. And you're right. I think there is a form of some type of abuse that a lot of us go through. And there's some that don't, but for the many of us who do, it, like you say, it builds that resilience. It gives you the strength and it shows you what you're really capable of because we are so capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for. And this
Right.
is why it's so important to share your story and to let your voice be heard because you help to inspire so many others out there who are afraid to talk, who don't feel like they matter, who don't feel like life can be better or life can change, because that's not true. That's very much not true. And so that's part of why we do what we do to help those out there who's listening and who just needs that inspiration to just keep going and just make life what you want it to. Don't let whatever happened to you define who you are. If anything, let it strengthen who you are.
Yes, and that's why I've been so inspired by your journey and also your relationship you have with God. I love that because
It's,
so much of us were taught in church. And I grew up in church, and it was it wasn't about having a good relationship with God. I was afraid. I
right?
was afraid I wasn't going to be good enough. I was afraid I was a failure. And it really led to a lot of my victimhood
Hmm.
because when I now, as I look back over my life and I see where God was with me
Yeah.
through those things, and He wasn't bringing those things on to hurt me. People say that the most the stupidest things because they don't feel better,
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so,
No, I love it. You're absolutely right. Yes.
because we do, I mean, it's in our nature to want to help people,
Hmm.
but sometimes we don't really understand what we're saying and how that can be perceived by the
Yeah.
person when
Yeah.
they're struggling.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And and not everybody has that ability to have empathy or even
Yeah.
sympathy towards people and what they're going through. I see so many people out there who just like feel like everybody should see life the way they do. And if you don't, you're something's wrong with you. And it's like, no, nobody's ever going to see life the way you do because we all have our different experience, our different beliefs. That's actually what makes us pretty cool and
Right.
unique and special in this world. It's not something that should divide us. It's anything that it's what should unite us. If anything, let's learn from each other, let's grow with each other. And I love that you've come a long way with your daughter. And I
Mm.
feel like your message and your journey with your daughter is also very important for many of us moms as right now my daughter's only 4 years old, so I can only imagine. But I also have a 15-year-old son that I'm very close to. And, just the idea of knowing, yeah, that they're only going to be around for so long and how you handle that time of your life when they're gone. This is why what I want to do with moms is help them to find their identity outside of motherhood because this way you don't get caught in that place where your kids are gone. It's like, well, dang, now who am I? What do I do with my life? Well, let's figure that out now while you got the kids around because like you say, you're a role model. You're doing for yourself, so therefore you show up better for them and everyone. So it's a win-win when you do that because then you don't feel so just, oh my gosh, now what do I do? Who am I? I even see that with my own mom, and it hurts me because she's so amazing and she doesn't see her potential. But it's because she's been a mom and a GMA now for so long. I don't think she knows how to be anything else outside of that. Hey there, aspiring entrepreneurs. Ready to turn your free time into a flourishing digital marketing business? Introducing Lipo Max, your comprehensive all-in-one package for launching a successful venture. With Lipo Max, you'll get access to over 200 in-depth, beginner-friendly training videos tailored to your needs. Plus, enjoy lifetime access with continuous course updates, weekly training calls, and ongoing community support. All without any monthly fees or extra charges. And the best part? You'll benefit from a high-demand digital product, the course, expertly crafted and ready for immediate sale. Yes, that means you earn 100% profit on every sale. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to transform your free time into a profitable business. Join LipoMax today and watch your dreams take flight. Click on the link in the show note today to learn more.
Right. And it was a lot different for women of that generation as well.
Yeah.
It was more, expected that that's what they were going to do. They were going to be home, they were going to take care of their children. So I think we've come a long way in helping to empower women and just teach them who they are, the strengths that we bring, and that we are, like you said, we are that role model for our children. And it's good to teach them how to be in a good relationship, like what healthy looks like. So there was something I had in my mind and it went away. But
Oh, I do that all the time.
talking about when you were talking about your son, but I think one of the things too is to enjoy every season of their life as they grow. That was one thing I really focused on, enjoying my daughter at each time that she was, and not mourning what had passed, because you can get stuck, and we don't want our children not to grow. We don't want them not to grow up. But there's a part, if you don't take the time to really enjoy where they are, I think you can lose that. And that was one thing. Like I said, I made mistakes, as we all do.
Oh, yeah.
But I fully enjoyed her at each time, even the times when we were struggling, because they go through where they kind of separate and they're becoming their own. And it can be a little hurtful, but it's like I always looked forward to who she was becoming and watching, the things that she was stepping into and learning about herself and learning I wanted her, with all the things that I had been through and how long it took me to overcome. I wanted her to go past that.
Yeah.
And so, there was a part of me that was just so excited to see where she was going. So yeah.
And I think that's a part when you have that kind of focus too, it's going to help you even in the season you're at now, where she is married and, starting her life now on her own. It's going to help you to just be more excited and appreciate the ups and downs with it. Because I know it's got to be challenging. And for, moms out there who are in that season, who maybe they're close to it, what advice would you give them as far as working through that?
I think to just enjoy every opportunity they give you. Like if my daughter calls and says, "Hey, do you want to grab lunch?" it's like just enjoy those moments that you are granted, because every time there was a milestone and she would go, she went to YWAM and went to missions, and she was away for about a year. And every time she went away, I thought, well, this could be it. She could be branching out on her own. So it just helped me to appreciate the times we were together that much more. So I think focusing on the good parts of it, letting yourself feel the feels. It's okay. It's okay to be sad, because there is a part of you that it's changing. There's a part of your relationship that's changing. And it's okay. But now I look forward. I don't know for sure, but maybe grandchildren will be coming down in the future. I don't put pressure on, but whatever. They got a cat, and I got to come recently. They took a trip, and I got to come and pet sit and stay with the cat. And, we joke around, this is the grandkitty, So, I get to come and still be part, and just enjoy, the parts that I'm able to come and join in.
And that's wonderful. Yes. And it's like funny because that's one thing I love about my mom. Thankfully, she lives like 10 minutes down the road right now, and she's a big part of our lives. And my husband and her are at a point now where they're really close, where they had their struggles too in the beginning of it because, she did believe that, she felt that he was taking us away from her, which I can understand as a mom and the way because we were living together. So I can understand where she's coming from, and I love to know that we've moved forward from that time because it was a hard time. It was very challenging. But that now she can look back and see the beautiful grandkids, the fact that he really did love me and that we just really everything worked out in the way it was meant to. Not that it was meant to hurt her. It was just life happening and it just felt like she was attacked at the time. But we've come a long way now. She's got an open invitation and she'll sometimes come and just spend the night with us. And we do like board games and we play we play Wii Sports with her. And, it's, it's like you say, one of those things where we can all just find ways to still be in each other's lives, even as things change. Because I can imagine that's got to be challenging. And I know me and her, same thing. She's my best friend. She's my go-to person. And I know that it's got to be challenging
Right.
when you see your child. It's exciting. You're happy for them, but at the same time, you're just like it's almost like a reality is hitting you how life is just really going by, right? Mm.
Right. And I was fortunate because I find right before they moved down, I kind of thought, oh, I could start this business. And so I did. That was the other thing. I had something to focus on.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all there. I had something to, I had to work towards. And while it was very difficult while we were planning the wedding, I felt very spread apart, but I'm so thankful I did that because now, I have that to focus on. And she's getting ready to start a business, so I'm able to help her with that as well. So
Awesome.
that was the other thing, playing with your kids. Like
Oh yeah.
my daughter taught me to play Pokemon Go, and I still play Pokemon Go, and we compare sometimes. So I just did fun.
Mhm.
That's the other thing. Find things that interest them and
Yeah.
get interested in what they're interested in so that you have some fun things to do. I love that you play video games with your mom, the Wii.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, I know. Because the Wii, or not even the Wii. Now we have the Nintendo Switch, and it's like they have the bowling and the tennis and the badminton. So it's like you're still kind of being active and playing the sports, but we're inside, and it's fun. And we're introducing our 4-year-old to it a little bit and stuff. And yeah, like me and our oldest son. There was a time that whenever I first met Alan, my husband, we would play Minecraft with him. Like that was kind of a bonding thing we did with our son. He taught us how to do Minecraft. So yeah, I think it's a great way to bond and help them to feel, like they matter, like what they
Yeah.
enjoy matters. You get to know them on their levels, and you're right. I have so much fun, and it cracks me up sometimes just watching and playing with them in their rooms and their imaginations. My daughter loves to mock me and pretend like she'll tell her dolls like. You got to eat your vegetables, too much sugar is unhealthy. And I just love it because it's like, oh my God, she's like, this is how much she's taking that in.
Yes. It's very sobering sometimes. It's like, wow, they're watching.
Yeah.
Even if you don't realize how much they see.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah. The other day, it was so funny because we have this new rule, you don't eat on the couch. And so my husband goes to sit down on the couch to eat his dinner. And my daughter goes up to him and is like, Daddy, you're not supposed to eat on the couch. Like, you gotta love that. The girls, I guess that's the thing with the girls. They always love being the bossy one. I'll be in charge. I got this. They're the queens.
right? That's awesome.
So yes, I love this. No, this has been great. And I know we were kind of talking also about businesses. So how about tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yes, and that was kind of interesting because the name of my company is Blue Butterfly Solutions,
Ooh.
and the butterfly has just fascinated with me as I went through my healing journey, and it just says a lot about we have to go through struggles when the butterfly comes out of the chrysalis, they have to do it on their own, and they have to go through that struggle, or their wings won't be strong enough to fly. So it was just, that was something that was just very, I had studied a lot, and it just resonated with me at the time because I had been through a lot of things, and I felt like all my dreams, everything had melted away, and then I was being reborn. And I wanted to be able to do that for other businesses, other people that are, starting businesses and they have these ideas and they just need somebody to walk alongside them and support them. So that's how, and blue is my favorite color, and it stands for healing and new, like rebirth, I think. And so it was just yeah, it just all came together. And so I'm very excited to be able to offer that to small businesses and entrepreneurs. And so, yeah, I help with newsletters, which is something a lot of people think are a dying thing right now. But if you're an introvert, it's a really good way to stay in touch with people, your clients or potential clients, and let them get to see you and understand what you do and how you might be able to help them. And when they're ready, they can contact you. So it's just a nice way for somebody who's a little more introverted, and we are business owners. It gives them a chance to not feel salesy or like they're chasing people. It's like, here I am, and here's what I can do. And when you're ready, we can talk.
Yeah. I think that's
So,
great. Yeah, that's awesome. And that, I mean, it's very much needed because if you are a mom out there and you're wanting to start a business, it does take a lot. And so if you have ways to, you know, delegate some of those tasks off of you and have someone helping you, it really helps not only to speed up a little bit of your success to a point, but also you're not so overwhelmed with everything and you can keep going even in the dry spells because it is hard trying to get
yeah.
yourself out there, trying to make sure that you attract the right people, letting people know who you are and what you're about. And if you are introverted, that's even harder to show up, as it's nerve-wracking. I know with me in the beginning, it was just hard even thinking about doing lives because I'm all about pictures. Now, everybody who knows me, I love my pictures because I feel like I don't have the best memory, and I think a lot of that probably has to do with my past of addiction that I went through. It really messed up with my development, but I want to know that in the future, if anything ever happens, I always can look back at my pictures and my videos, things like that, and just remember my kids, remember this and remember that. But yeah, the idea of coming on and talking and things like that used to make me really nervous, but at the same time I feel like I've also am born to do it. It's weird. It's like when I get to talking on these podcasts and I hope to one day be able to go and speak on stages because I don't know, I can see myself doing that. I really can. I love it. It's fun to talk with people.
Yeah, it's amazing to be able to share, and people understand they're not alone.
Yeah.
That people have, you've walked through and that you came out the other side and you can walk with them and
Yes.
you can empathize.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I love that too. I love to be an inspiration to people and just let them know the best is yet to come. We hear a lot of this negativity out there in the world, but it's
Yeah.
there's a lot of hope out there. There's a lot of good people out there, and there's a lot of good things that are coming. So
Yes, exactly. And at the end of the day, like what you want out of life, you got to be willing to go after it. And it really starts with you believing that and really making that decision and then allowing yourself to be open to receive the stuff that comes your way. There is a lot of negativity out there, and my hope is to keep on bringing more of the positivity. Like I'm so over it of all the bad that's going on and everybody wanting to, always look at the negative. I mean, I grew up in that enough and I'm like, no, no more because
mhm.
no more I've been focusing on the positive and seeing it the more amazing things that have been happening. And it doesn't mean that I don't have my bad days or things don't always go my way, but it's nice to be able to like look at that now and be like, you know what? This really does suck. This really is hard. This makes me want to just curl up in bed and cry. But instead, I'm going to choose to just trust that this is part of my growth. This is something I got to learn from, grow from. I will get on the other side of this. And like just having that attitude now, like helps me get through it in such a beautiful way that I used to be so defeated, so defeated.
And the thing is, your children, our children are watching us. What are we going to leave them if we leave them in this hopelessness? So it's to look at those and they see us rising up,
Yeah.
and it gives them hope for their future too. So yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
really important.
Oh, yeah. I love it because they're going to be adults one day. They're going to be in our place. And I know for me, I want my kids to be confident, to really know who they are. I want them to believe in all possibilities and abundance. I want them to be strong and willing to put forth the effort. I don't want them to ever think that things are just going to be handed to them. Like you got to work
Right.
for it. But I also want them to work smart too. At the same, there's so much that I'm learning on my own journey of working smarter and just really being authentic. That's one thing I think is my favorite part of doing what I do is I get to be me for the first time. I don't have to pretend to be someone I'm not. I don't have to be afraid or walk on eggshells. It's like, no, this is who I am. You either like me or you don't, and that's okay. I still got love, for myself and others who does want to be part of my world.
And that's the thing too, is learning to work. I love that you want to connect with people and be open to new things, because I think there was a period of time where a lot of people were so independent. And that's one of the positives I see coming out of the things that are happening right now. They're kind of forcing us to cooperate with others and connect with others and be a stronger community.
Yeah.
And we are stronger together.
Yes.
So if it has to happen because maybe things are getting a little more expensive and we have to figure out creative and inventive ways, that's
Yeah.
awesome, because it's going to be something beautiful that we can hand to the next generation, is this idea that you're not alone and you don't have to do it by yourself. You get up, you don't have it handed to you, but you get together and you cooperate with those around you. You draw that tribe to you and move forward together because we're stronger together.
Oh, yes, you exactly. And I hate that right now in this world. I feel like there's so many things that's trying to divide us, but I do love this right here. This is why we need to be united because you're right. United we stand.
Yes,
Divided we fall. I mean, it's so true. And that's why we've got to work on bringing our focus to the positive and to the community and to supporting one another and loving one another and showing the kindness and acceptance because like you say our kids, they're the ones who are going to have to deal with the fallout of whatever happens. And so as moms, we want our kids to live in a good world. We want them to live and be happy and have all the opportunities and with technology too. There's so many new things that are coming and who knows what else is on its way. Look at AI already, what it's created for people. I mean, it's only going to get bigger and better. And so it's neat to see that we're being kind of pushed with inflation and things like that to find other avenues and not have like with your situation, for instance, the hotel where you guys had like all your eggs in one basket. It's funny
right.
because me and my husband work for the same company. And I
Mhm.
always worry about that. Like, what if they go under? What if they decide to sell the company? What if they, whatever? We're screwed. We'll lose our job at the same time. So that's why we decided that we're going to be entrepreneurs and we're going to go explore other avenues and create multiple streams of income rather than having just one, because that's really what the most successful people in this world do. They don't just
Exactly.
have one business. They have multiple businesses. They have different streams of income. So I'm always like experimenting and looking into things. Like I have a master resale rights right now that I love and I think is in a great opportunity that I'm getting into. So there's just so many different things that are out there for you that could truly turn your life around if you're willing to put yourself out there and learn and
Exactly.
experiment, right?
Yes, that's the other thing, is learning to be vulnerable. The next generation is so hungry for that,
Yeah.
for people to be authentic and transparent and to be willing to learn. That was the other thing with my daughter. She taught me so much because I was open. Our children can teach us
Yeah.
if we are open, and that gives them another, great sense of who they are and what they bring to the table. So yeah, I'm so thankful for my daughter and all the lessons I learned along the way, and
Yeah.
so excited to see, like I said, with all the different technology. I know when I was growing up, we were taught to be afraid of technology, and that's such that's we need to use it as a tool, not
Yeah.
let it use us, but we
Yeah.
need to learn. And
Yes.
that's what we teach the next generation is, yes, the technology is not going away. We need to integrate it smartly into our world and use it as a tool, the tool that it is.
Yeah.
So
Before we end up here too, let us know if somebody wanted to learn more about working with you. Where could they find you?
My website is bluebutterflysolutions.com.
Mhm.
And you can also email me at tammy@bluebutterflysolutions.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn, my name, under Tammy Schaefer. And I believe I have a business page as well, LinkedIn and Facebook.
Awesome.
So,
And
but
we'll be sure to include all that in the show notes, but I'd like for you to share that as well.
yes, yeah. And there's a lot of information on there and just, reaching out to me. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd love to connect with anybody who's looking even for encouragement where they are. I love to connect with new people. That's how we kind of met,
Yes, I love it.
different groups. So it was really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what's so fun about this journey. Like, they say, to enjoy the journey, this is what it's about because there are so many obstacles and challenges along the way. But when you get connected and get to meet new people who are in similar spots or even have gone through it and are able to help keep you inspired and motivated, whatever it is, like it's just so nice to get these connections and realize you're not alone on your journey and to have that extra support and make great relationships. I feel like I've made so many good friendships and I love it because we can all support each other and keep each other growing. And it's going to be great to see where we all end up on the other side as we keep growing to see the different things that we do and accomplish. It's very exciting. It makes me optimistic for my future.
Yes. Yes.
Also, if there is just one final piece of advice that you would put out there for moms who are going through challenges, maybe letting go of their daughters or their children as they get older, what would that be?
I think just keep that positive outlook and let them lead, as let them have that chance to stumble and fall. Because when you allow that, they'll come back and my daughter still seeks my advice about things. And it's because I've stepped back and learned from her and listened to her. So I would say to really listen and enjoy each season and let go and see the beautiful things that come from that. Just let go a little bit and see how that shifts and changes for you.
Ah, it's beautiful. I love it. Thank you, Tammy, so much for your vulnerability, for coming on the show, sharing your story with us, and giving us such amazing inspirational advice and just being with me today. I really appreciate it.
It was so wonderful. It was my pleasure to be here. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Here are the key takeaways from today's episode. No matter your current situation, you have the power to create a better future for yourself. Look for ways to turn challenges into opportunities for growth. If you have a business idea, take steps to bring it to life. Seek inspiration from those around you and start small, but start now. Strive to structure your career in a way that allows you to spend quality time with your family. Prioritize what matters most to you and find creative solutions to balance both. Embrace change as an opportunity for growth. When faced with significant life shifts, stay flexible and open to new possibilities. Recognize that as your children grow, your relationship will evolve. Support their independence while staying connected and available for guidance. When your children leave home, explore new passions or hobbies that bring you joy and fulfillment. Use this time to invest in yourself. Prioritize your relationship with your partner. Make time for each other and work together to strengthen your bond, especially during transitions. Encourage your children to be self-sufficient. Provide them with the support they need to grow and succeed on their own. Stay curious and open to new experiences. Continuously seek opportunities to learn and grow both personally and professionally. Find sources of support that help you stay positive and resilient. Whether it's faith, community, or personal practices, lean on what helps you through tough times. You're a young mother. Don't hesitate to pursue your goals. It's possible to build a business and a fulfilling career while raising your children. Seek out resources and support to help you on your journey. If you want to learn more about Tammy and how she can help you on your journey, be sure to check out her website, bluebutterflysolutions.com. Links are in the show notes. Lastly, please subscribe to this podcast and leave me a review or 5-star rating so we can help reach as many moms out there who need to be uplifted and supported. If you know anyone who would benefit from listening to this episode, be sure to share it with them. I can't thank you all enough for tuning in with me each week. And just remember, if you ever need any support as a life coach, I can help you. Feel free to visit me at marydibblecoaching.com to learn more about my services. Let's make the most of this one life we have and create something beautiful together. Until next time, much love.